welcome to this special Sunday edition, the Waking Up Sunday CU podcast for Sunday, November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. He's Guy Fawkes, Ian Ferguson.
Yeah, okay. I'm here.
I'm back on trade. We're going to be blowing you up with lots of news about retro modern gaming. We'll be...
Way to work that in.
Already off the rails here.
Yeah.
We'll be overthrowing your mind with new information about Call of Duty loot boxes and the GameStop PowerPass rental program. The Switch success.
We'll be appropriating sources like a certain mask or image. Anyway.
So Ian, what's been going on besides you puking last night? What's been going on?
Dude, I think it was like...
What did you eat?
We were on the way home from the movies, and I got a Jack in the Box Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
Oh, okay.
I haven't eaten Jack in the Box in like forever, because I think it's fucking disgusting.
Yet you still said, I want Jack in the Box.
I needed something. Taco Bell was closed.
Wendy's is always right down the
Wendy's
road?
was closed.
Oh.
And it was...
Either McDonald's is better than Jack in the Box.
I know, but it was like it was the easy turn into Jack or the double back hard turn into the McDonald's, and we were
the hard turn in the stomach.
Is
what you got.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
lesson learned.
So that I was feeling a little rough last night, but anyways,
but how was the movie? How was you saw Blade Runner?
Yeah, I saw Blade Runner 2049, and I
number of people that saw it.
Number
of people that saw Blade Runner.
Which is sad because it was fantastic. It was great.
I don't see why. It's not a surprise that no one saw it because it's such a weird sequel to begin with of a movie that no one really saw when it first came out. The fact that it got made is to me kind of the surprising part, that they put that much money behind a movie like that.
The fact that it got made, the fact that it didn't look cheap, the fact that it looks amazing. It
cost a ton of money.
Yeah. The fact that it was good, I mean, not even good. It was great. This is not a movie discussion you really get into. I mean, it was nearly a 3-hour movie.
Holy shit.
It was 2 hours and 45 minutes. The original cut was 4 hours.
Oh my god.
It's fucking Blade Runner. I mean, what did you expect?
4 hours, Apocalypse Now territory.
But I mean, it was good. I had a few minor qualms, but who knows if those would, disappear upon a second seeing, or if I would find other problems upon a second seeing. But it was great. It's a shame that no one went to see it, but like you said, it's a strange movie to make a sequel of. I don't think people would have initially wanted there to be a sequel. It's amazing they got a good sequel, but it was a cult film to begin with.
Yeah.
The original film was slow. I mean, it's never been an action-packed franchise. One of the beefs that it was never an action-packed movie. One of the, I think, main beefs of the new movie is that there's a couple out-of-place action moments in it.
Okay.
One in particular that stands out that I'm like, this is stupid. But for the most part, everything was great. And then
it's gonna. There was a ton of marketing behind it too, so they're probably losing $100 million overall or something like this. So
yeah,
not that there was ever gonna be a third one, but they had to have known this was not gonna make any money, especially with that budget. I mean, it looks like an expensive movie. I think the budget was probably like $150 million or something. Like
it was something like that, and it's now at $249.
So if plus the marketing, so yeah, they're losing money on that. Remember, you don't get 100% of the box office. Those movie theaters that sell you milk duds, they need some money too.
Yeah,
they got to stay in business too.
So and then for Halloween, I watched I watched Halloween, They Live, and then
I haven't seen They Live in forever.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I actually had never seen, and that one got to me.
That's creepy, right?
Just because it's super fucking creepy. Yeah, I mean, there's very little gore, but it's cool. Yeah, the way it's shot is just, it gets into your skin. And then Halloween, too. So that's what I did all week. I watched movies.
You're excited for the new Halloween, where they're ignoring Halloween 3 to 7 or whatever and coming back. That's a new thing, because they're doing the same thing with Terminator.
Well, H20 or H2O or whatever you want to call it, H20 kind of retconned out a lot of the in-between 2 and whatever.
So I'm not sure if that's going to stay in the continuity.
And then yeah, I mean, I'll go see H40. It's Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's a new thing. You have these 30, 40-year-old properties with a female star. You ignore every fucking movie before it. They were going to do it with Alien 5 and ignore Alien 3 and 4 and bring back Sigourney Weaver, but they're definitely doing it with Linda Hamilton, and the new Terminator is going to ignore everything after Terminator 2. So that's like the new thing. So I'm on board for that new Terminator movie. That's going to be great, especially after Linda Hamilton. She'll say she'll never work with James Cameron ever again. Well, no, there's money. So,
retconning is fun.
All right. It's fun. Other than that, we got an NES marathon coming up. When is that? A week from now we'll be doing it. A week from now I'll be dead. That's November 11th and 12th. Go to nesmarathon.com. It's to benefit AmeriCares. All proceeds go to AmeriCares. We're going to have Andre Meadows from Black Nerd Comedy there. Gerard and Alex, Super Beer Bros. Gerard's a completionist. They'll be there. I don't think they canceled yet, so they'll be there. Vonnie will be there. Hellspawn Cat Spike will be there. Ian will be there. I will be in the vicinity. So we're looking forward to it. It'll be on Twitch. nesmarathon.com. It'll redirect to Twitch sometime that morning after I take my fresh pat shower and then drive over to Ian's. The traditional pat shower before the marathon.
Last week when you said Demon Cat, I'm like, who the fuck is this new YouTuber that's coming along that I don't know about?
Demon Cat
yeah.
is a YouTuber?
Well, that sounds like a fucking YouTuber name. You know, fucking Sheep Muscles Demon Cat. I mean, I don't know. Like
Beta Demon Cat? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So other than that, I'm going to be at Retro Game Con, and that's going to be the week after the marathon. That's going to be November, 17th and 18th 18th and 19th in Syracuse, New York. Go to retrogamecon.com. I'm going to be there with video game luminaries like Gary Kitchen and David Crane. So
nice.
And Grimsy42, I think, might be there too.
Nice.
I think. I don't know if he moved yet.
He has not moved yet.
Okay, so he might be there too. That'll be fun. Like Shane Rerez will be there as well, and some other folks. And this might be the last ever podcast in this location. Probably. This is it.
Yeah.
So say goodbye, everyone, to the shelves. Well, I mean, the shelves will come back. These are awesome shelves. The shelves will come back. The games will not go, but I probably will be moving. So next time this will be in Ian's little library. We'll be doing that. So I'm kind of misty-eyed about it. I didn't think about it. It's the last time. It's been 4.5 years. Memories like the ones we used to know.
All right, so let's blow the fuck through it and get out of this pop stand.
Hey, this is supposed to be memorable. We started in the bedroom for the first couple, right, or first one or two.
That was uncomfortable.
The whole thing was uncomfortable. Yeah. Maybe my bedroom. We come into here. It'll be better. Maybe it'll be at Ian's all the time, maybe sometimes, but it'll be better. All right, Ian, that game, Super Mario Odyssey.
Hey.
It's pretty fun.
Came out, and it is pretty good.
For that Nintendo Switch system, that's doing okay.
Yeah. So Super Mario Odyssey came out. Everyone knows about it. Everyone's already formed their opinions. We're late, guys. Old news. But anyways.
It came out a week ago.
Well, you know how it works in this world.
Wait, with a new location, we can be podcasting every day.
Maybe we should just be sent to the glue factory. Because we're old. This is old news.
Dog track time.
So, yeah.
Go, Ian!
So, Mario Odyssey is the new Super Mario game where you use your hat to take over enemies and do fun stuff. It's pretty fantastic. I'm about 7 levels in.
I'm 5. I just got to New Donk City.
You just got to New Donk?
I think so. That's 5 in. I was just in the woods, like Endor level with the big sequoias, and now New Donk was after that. Lake was 4th. Hat, desert, icy kingdom, the forest, underwater, and then that. Yeah.
Okay, you can think you're at New Donk City.
Is that a spoiler, you fucker? You fucker. It said I'm at New Donk City. I didn't get out of the thing yet.
So, my take on the game is that it's the levels are perfect. The game is gorgeous, and the level sizes are basically perfect. Everything's got a very happy vibe. I think the soundtrack is one of the best video game soundtracks I've heard in almost forever.
So far,
it's
eclectic and matches the levels. It's not. It doesn't. You don't get sick of it, even though it's looping. You know what I mean? It's just the right ambiance, but it's also it does bulge out every now and then, like my crotch.
Right. And there's little influences here and there, like the music fits every stage perfectly. I think like the hat level, there's a lot of like, I hear a lot of like Disney, like Haunted Mansion influences in there and stuff like that.
Town or whatever.
Yeah. So I think that's fantastic. I love one of my biggest concerns when they started showing off Super Mario Odyssey was I thought the gameplay was going to become too puzzle dependent. I was afraid that you were going to be too hung up on trying to solve puzzles or do things with the enemies in your hat, and it was going to get bogged down in a lot of start and stop. But the difficulty level in Mario Odyssey is actually very low that I've experienced so far.
It's low to medium. I mean, lower. Yeah, it's like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't think it's very, very difficult at all. So, while that might be a problem to some people, for a person like me who generally doesn't like the structure of a game like Mario Odyssey, where you have to, hunt for things to move on.
Small sandbox, but you have to still do some hunting, yeah. For the moons. You have to get the moons.
This allows the game to flow very easily, and each stage has so many moons that you never really feel like... You never really feel like you're stuck. Each level, when you open up those maps, they give you the little X's to kind of guide yourself to.
For the next objective.
Yeah, and each world has enough little objectives or a little story.
There's like 3 to 4 per world.
Yeah, and if you follow those, you're generally going to find enough moons in any given stage to move on.
I was talking about that with our pal Chris Kohler from Kotaku before. I'll awkwardly put you on speakerphone. We were talking about because he's reviewed it. Is that I love the structure because you don't feel obligated to go out of your way necessarily to hunt for the moons. You might be tempted to see, oh, look at that little puzzle over there. There might be one over there. Let's look around the corner. But on your general path, in theory, you should find them as you go. So you could play quickly through if you want to without having to linger on the world. And after you do the main objectives, more open up, more mini games and mini quests to get more. But you don't have to stick around. But you can.
Right, and I want to more so in a game like Odyssey than I have in other hunt and peck games. It's not really what they're called, the modern 3D platformer, say like the original Mario 64 or games like that. We're so far along now that the cameras are better, these ideas are better, the controls are better, the way they handle games like this it's friendlier. It's just easier to it doesn't frustrate me in the way that these sorts of games used to frustrate me.
Sure.
Plus, like I said, level design is huge. These levels are gorgeous and interesting. That forest level that you're talking about, to me, is one of the most interesting levels I've played in a game in a while. The interesting mixture of forest and machinery. Like, I really like that level. I want to actively go explore that.
Sure.
If I had any complaints about the game, and I have a couple of small ones, it's that I do wish it was a little bit more challenging in some areas. I wish there was a few more enemies scattered about in certain places, and maybe I'll see that as since I'm, I guess, heading into the end game, that weren't possessible, just a couple more obstacle type enemies. And while I realize it wouldn't fit in, I do find myself missing some of the classic iconography. I miss some power-ups, obviously, the fire flower and, stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand why they got rid of it, because you had the hat.
Yeah, I realize that it would be tough to balance between the two. And I know that the enemies do reappear if you screw up. They have to, so you can get to the certain places that you use those powers for. But I do miss some of that.
Sure. Good points, mostly. I think that I like that the challenge is dictated upon how many moons you want to look for.
True.
The only place where I actually said, fuck it, I'll come back later, was I think on each level there is one hidden place where you do a whole obstacle course where it's like it's like generic, almost like training level look.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's been in, I think, all of them since since 64. Like there were levels like that, say in Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, so it's like you can see like graph on the background.
Yeah.
So there's one that I haven't completed. I think it was the third one. I was like, ooh, this is tough. The one where it keeps coming out out of the side walls, and I'm like, you have to really time it. I was late. I was like, all right, this is tough. That was not a simple one, at least for me at the time. So I got to come back and do that one again.
Sure.
But you don't have to. Like,
No.
I didn't feel guilty skipping it. Like, when I look at the map, I'm frustrated and not, or I'm like, oh, there's like 45, 50 moons in this level, and I only have 23. And I'm like, ooh. And I looked for a chunk of them. Even when you can, what I like about the game is that you can buy from the toad in each level, Toadstool, he'll tell you where they are for 50 coins each. I couldn't even still find some of them.
Well, yeah, because
when they were pointing out, it was like, oh, here's one. And I'm like walking around in the desert. I'm like, where the hell is this? I'm like on top of it.
Well, it's like, he says bust a nut in a tree. And it's like, okay, well, there is a nut in a tree that you have to go break. And by the way, Nintendo,
Is that really what you didn't make that up?
No, it's a break a nut in a tree. Or,
well, that's the big difference between break and bust a nut.
I don't know. I mean, we're going to go with bust a nut in a tree. But there's a lot of trees and a lot of nuts. So
you have to go search for it.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying is that I think that's the beauty of it, that the replayability, when people are saying, oh, you can replay this, and once you do the main quest, you'll come back. I can see why, because like I just stated before, when you do your main objective, you beat the brutal boss, the little rabbit guy or female, you can come back and keep playing and finding stuff that's now unlocked.
Yep.
From before. And yes, there are unlockables in each level for there's a state specific coin for each level to get that stuff, and then coins to buy whatever else. So, but you don't need most of that stuff except for a few places to move on, like getting the Mario swimmies and Trunks to go to the room to get a moon.
Yeah, each level also seems to have a costume specific moon that you need to get. There's a moon that you can buy from each of the hat shops. There's those consistents.
Don't give it away, but so far that's my only disappointment, is that there's only one costume that helps you, which is the swimmies, and that makes you swim quicker. That's the only one so far where I'm like, oh, maybe they could have added that to other stages to give you a little bit of boost.
Does that actually make you swim faster?
It's a little bit. I don't know if it was just in my head, but when I was playing, it was like,
I'm under the impression that none of the costumes give
okay,
you that.
I thought it was quicker. Putting on the little tube and putting on the sword. It looked quicker to me. I kept it on, and it seemed like it was quicker. You don't remember that when you switched to it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I
Am
know
I crazy? I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think any of the costumes do diddly
Okay,
shit.
I thought it made me quicker. But then again, I was playing at like 1 in.the morning. So, but I thought it gave me quick. Anyway, so I like the freedom. I actually feel like I have more freedom and fun playing this game because the stage design is limited in scope and smaller than something like Breath of the Wild, which is going to be compared to, which is totally open, and you have to find your quests where they are and then do that. It almost seems like there's more to do in a game like Odyssey. Well, because you want to go talk to all the little guys hanging out and see what they have to say. In Breath of the Wild, they you don't really have to after a while. You can sort of just skip it.
Sure. I mean, they're just dropping you into these really cool, colorful little playgrounds and telling you this is what you're fucking around in until, we arbitrarily decide that we're going to let you go play in the other playground.
Sure. So there's going to be obviously comparisons between the two because they're both near perfect games, but it's just that like you're going to gravitate towards one or the other. And right now I'm having more fun overall. I had fun playing both, but Odyssey, I'm like, ooh, this is interesting and more fun, and I'm smiling at this more. And Zelda was more like, this is a peaceful time away from everything, and the fact that you can capture, like when you turn into the cute little cheap fish, and you're going, that's adorable.
That's my favorite thing.
It's adorable.
Far. Yeah,
it's fucking adorable. I mean, how can you not like that?
And when Gerard and Norm and I were talking about it, and we decided that at that point, and I think still to this day, or still at this point in me playing it, that's my favorite, most adorable transformation is Cheap Mario.
Yeah, it's the cutest thing I've seen.
So real quick before we move on, because we are gonna bring we're gonna talk more about Nintendo later. It should be noted that Super Mario Odyssey sold through 90% of its initial shipment on launch day. Within 2 days, it moved just over 2 million units.
That's insane.
In 2 days.
So that's almost
that's over a quarter attachment rate to the amount of systems, and we'll get into that later, that have sold so far in 2 days. Over a quarter of the people who own a Switch owned Mario Odyssey within 2 days of it coming out.
And they'll sell another whatever 4
8
million
fucking gajillion
this holiday season and beyond. Because if Zelda doesn't appeal to you, like let's put it this way, this game will appeal to everyone. Breath of the Wild may not appeal to like a 4-year-old or 5-year-old.
Look, if Mario doesn't appeal to you, then Zelda or Splatoon will appeal to you.
But the point is that this is the
yes.
game. This is the killer app that in the Breath of the Wild was. I always say it was sort of a killer app. I think, like for the most part, it's a killer app. But this is the game that will sell the system even more so.
Well, we'll get
We'll get into it more. My last thing to say about the game is that, like I said, I've been having loads of fun playing it. I've been playing it both in the TV and in handheld mode. The only little bit I would say bothers me is that in order to get the full experience, you really have to play with the Joy-Con separated versus in tablet mode.
Because there is motion controls.
They're not required for the most part. They're not required, but it will help you on your way using the motion controls.
You can definitely,
you can get by without them.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, you can absolutely beat the game without using the motion controls, but there are some moves and some capabilities that make certain situations a lot handier if you do use them.
There's only really 2 moves. There's the heat-seeking hat throw and then the whirly hat throw, where that's even tough to pull out with the Joy-Con separated. That's the only thing that I cannot pull off, I'd say, only half the time when I want to, at least when I try to do it, is the circular throw. That's
with a Pro Controller, it's easy. You just go like that.
Okay, well, I don't have a Pro Controller. I have the Joy-Cons. So the Joy-Cons, it's a little harder. Throwing the hat up, you don't need to do that in the game, but that you have to have it angled just straight forward. So that's a little tough. But otherwise, though, the controls are absolutely spot on. The camera has given me issues a couple times where it was locked in a position I thought was not the best, and there are some points where you can't move it yourself. Otherwise, though, I think the camera's been pretty good. I usually put it on medium. I probably have to switch it to high but medium.
Yeah, it's really slow on default.
So there you go. So Super Mario Odyssey, it's probably deserving of a 10 out of 10. I probably only played halfway through, or not even at this point. And I love the tank mode. The tank mode is fucking fun.
That's fun. Yeah.
It reminds me like American Gladiators playing Assault. Mm-hmm. So Ian, we've been talking about loot boxes a lot.
Yeah.
Lately, how awesome they are, and how they're totally not gambling at all.
I'd be totally over talking about loot boxes if it wasn't for this.
So what's going on here? So Call of Duty World War II comes out, and there's loot boxes in it, right? Mm-hmm. Why not? All the rage. Why not? You want to pay for a chance to win an item that you can't earn otherwise easily. So there's supply drops in the game. It'll parachute in front of you. You can open them. Let's see. Mostly cosmetic, but you get gun skins. Fucking gun skins. Call signs, soldier apparel. Might get timed experience point multipliers as well. All right. So you can earn supply drops. This is from PC Gamer. This is how you can earn supply drops. You don't have to spend money. That's the good news.
Yep.
You receive them as a random reward at the end of the match. Okay, that's fine.
Awesome.
Completing contracts, time challenges. For example, get X amount of kills, get X headshots, etc. Okay, skill base. You can purchase with.
Hold on.
What?
Are you trying to ignore this ad that's playing on the screen of this old woman like holding a kid's feet and like smelling them, like she's just constantly pushing it?
I don't see that on my page, Ian.
Well, that's awful. It's
okay.
It's apparently an ad for a medicine. Anyways, back to it.
Well, there's no visual element for that on the screen. Anyway, so you can purchase with Armory credits that are earned for free on a timer or through by completing certain challenges. Okay, still skill based. I'm okay with this.
Sure.
Completing daily and weekly orders, challenges without a time limit that you can turn in at any time, even after the daily, weekly selection refreshes. So I guess you get like, okay, this week this is your challenge to complete. Okay,
it's for Entresto.
They don't. Glad you're focused on the right thing here.
Sorry.
They don't require Armory credits to purchase, but you can only hold 3 at once. Okay, so time challenges.
Yeah,
just coming back to the game. Or or you can watch other players open their supply drops.
Preferably while masturbating, I would imagine.
You'll be able to earn supply drops and other rewards through a new social score. Black Mirror, anyone? By interacting with players in the HQ mode, you can inspect them and give or receive a one-time commendation, which increases your social score. But again, here's the icky bit. This is again PC Gamer. You can increase your social score by watching others open their supply drops. This has its own reward system, but they haven't been able to really test it yet. Okay, Ian.
Yes.
Where do you begin with this?
I don't know. I mean, how are we at this I mean, why would... The only thing I can think of is that they want you to watch people open supply drops so that you just feel this burning passion that you have to go get the bubblegum colored sniper rifle skin, that you're going to go buy as many of these loot boxes now as possible. I mean, is that what it is? Is it like predatory behavior? Is it taking like an ex-gambler who's been through the program and putting him in front of a TV playing nothing but high stakes poker for 20? I mean, what are they? It's just fucking weird.
What are the costs on the loot boxes in this game? Do we have the costs in front of us? Because I was trying to make sure that this wasn't like, okay, if there wasn't the option to purchase your own loot boxes, and they wanted to put this in as some weird voyeuristic fucking bullshit, because let's put it this way: there's YouTube channels that have existed for CS:GO skin, for watching people basically play the lottery. There's scratch off ticket YouTube channels, so there's always some sort of appeal. Hell, we watch gambling on TV. You know, there is skill involved with poker, so there is an audience to watch other people gamble. There is. However, the difference is that this is in the environment where it's encouraging you to watch someone, so you get the itch to spend money to participate. I can't participate and pay money playing poker, watching it on ESPN. That's not available to me. There's no coin slot. I can play digital poker at the same time. That's the icky part about this to me.
Okay, I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at too, is that it's to immediately kind of drive you to go 2 menus over, a menu over, or who knows, maybe a button press over. Maybe it's like, hey, would you like to buy a little bit of loot?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the fucking German pistol with the USA Statue of Liberty grip. I swear to God, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at it right now. It's called the Liberty and Justice.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it too.
That's insane.
The Liberty and Justice skin.
So you killed some Nazi. You took his gun and you reskinned it in World War II. On the handle. That's insane.
You peeled the label off your lighter and wrapped it around the handle.
I had a toy gun of that by the kid, by the way. I found one in the dirt. It was a cap gun.
A Liberty and Justice.
No, didn't have it, but whatever the hell it's called, I can't think of it right now.
Liberty, Lady Liberty, the coins.
So obviously, would you say this is gross?
I'd say it's just
because
what is gross anymore?
I don't know. I think when you're trying to lure.
Let's have a longer conversation about
what is gross?
Where are we?
When you get to the ethical point where you're trying to lure teenagers and children into spending more money on your game, with or without the parents' knowledge.
Is that gross anymore?
I mean, no, it should be gross.
I mean, it should be.
And people are going to say in the comments, well, it's the same thing as buying a pack of Pokemon cards. Yep. Is that the same thing?
I don't know, man.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know, man.
I think part of the reason why this stuff is more dirty to me as well is that you don't know the odds of the items you're getting. It's not, you know what I mean? There's no oversight. It's not like when you go to a casino, you know the odds of getting 21. You know the odds of scoring on roulette. You know the payouts. Who the fuck knows? And plus, this isn't actually money. This is just trophies in a digital world. I think that's why it's grosser. At least with a pack of Pokemon cards, I can have the cards and trade them and play them and use them still. These are just accoutrements and visual upgrades that it's just a digital trophy system. And
while I do like trading card games, mostly just because I love card games and I like the rule sets to them, and I do have problems with the booster pack phenomenon or part of that. With Magic and with Pokemon, at least there is in place. You always get this many commons. You always get this many uncommons. You always get one rare, and then that's how it plays out. So or ultra. You always get one rare or ultra rare. So you always know exactly how much crap fodder, how much decent, and how much good you're going to get out of a pack. It's whether or not is it going to be useful for you. At least with Overwatch loot boxes, I know I've gotten ones that were just all crap. you know, so there is a slight difference there, although whatever. So yeah, I don't know, man.
I want to make sure that you actually can buy.
I don't know
these
you
loot boxes.
can. I thought they said they didn't cost money.
So I make sure before people go off on us that.
No, my impression was that you couldn't, but maybe you can.
I mean, either way, you're creating an environment where you.
Oh, watch other players open to earn your own, complete challenges, or spend money. So yeah, you can spend money.
All right, this is dirty then.
So GameStop is eternally trying to do new things to, I don't know, save their asses basically. From going out of business. It was funny because we had 2 people or 3 people talk to us or ask us to discuss, I think over the past month, talk about why GameStops are starting to look more and more like Spencer's Gifts.
Well, hot topic more than Spencer's
Gifts.
They're not selling massagers yet.
I was gonna say when they start selling the candy underwear, that's when it's turned into Spencer's Gifts.
They're not selling chair massagers yet, are they?
No. But GameStop now has they're starting a rental program that allows for that's a physical rental program, which is a very weird thing to see, I think, come back in this day and age. For $60 for 6 months, so basically $10 a month, you can get unlimited rentals to all of their physical used games. And then at the end of the 6 months, you get to pick one of those games. You can keep a game. It's odd to me that they do it. I think it's to get people back into their physical stores, just so that they're in there, they're looking to bring up, to get people to make impulse buys, to maybe stem some of the constant digital purchasing on the newer systems. As a person who works in a video game store, though, I think this might also be a somewhat clever way for them to try to reduce what seems to be a classic trick with GameStop shoppers, which is they buy a used game and they have 7 days to return it. No questions asked for credit. So they can exchange the game. 7 days may as well be a rental period for most people anyways. And I do know a number of people who will go buy the game, beat it, exchange it, and grab another game. I think this could potentially make GameStop a little bit of money. And at the same time, customers who do that may see it as a convenience. So if they miss a return date or something like that, they're not stuck with a game that they don't want anymore. That's kind of my feelings on why they might be trying to do this.
It's a great move from GameStop's perspective. You're basically selling a shitty old used game that you couldn't sell for maybe $5-10 for $60, guaranteed.
Sure.
For every customer that goes into this. That's basically what you're doing here.
Right. You're just moving it 6 months later.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if you move it. You got the money up front.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's only going to be one game out of your store for that $60.
Yeah.
And the value that's almost never going to equal $60. So you're winning. Especially, like you said, you're getting rid of eventually a backlog is gone of all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can manage this in store with their employees while they're still fucking taking in a modern game, used games, and retro games somehow, if they can manage this in their system, fine, that's fine by me. If they can do that, I just question why they would do this and not just go directly head to head with GameFly and just do it mail order. Why not just do that and do it out of their warehouse? Their massive warehouse, and just do that instead.
Because I think one of the key things for them here is that they're doing it as a way to try to save some of their physical stores.
Sure.
And this means they have to get up and go.
But people don't want to do that. I mean, that's.
I know, but that's where it's risky. I don't think there's any.
You might keep people there. You're not going to bring in new people. I mean, this is exactly what Blockbuster tried when they were on the losing end of the war with Netflix.
Yes. Oh, I remember. My parents loved it, by the way. But yeah, I realized it wasn't a thing that worked for most people.
A company I used to work for was knee deep in trying to look into this stuff. And so Blockbuster was always working behind. They gave Netflix too much of a head start. I think it was like a 2 to 3 year head start.
Yeah.
By that point, it was done. It was too late. Netflix had all the distribution centers set up. Blockbuster was slow to do it, and so their response time was always slower. And they were playing catch up with their base, even though they had all the physical stores everywhere. In the mid 2000s, Blockbuster was probably at its height and started to decline, and it didn't matter though. It was too late. But what they tried to do, which it cut the bleeding a little bit, was if you got your Blockbuster DVD in the mail you can just return it to the store and pick one up instantly.
Right.
But there had to be something you wanted in that store to rent, and that was always a problem with Blockbuster. Is that you go in. Back to the VHS days, there could be 40 copies of Die Hard 2 on the wall. They're all gone because there just isn't enough. So your location has to have the used game you want right when you go back. So it's a similar issue, but just now for games.
Yeah.
So I see frustration in store for people. Because if you really want that game that is, let's just say you want to play a 3-week-old game and not pay the full price, that's why you want to rent. Is that going to be available at your store, or is that going to be out to someone else, or they're going to have any copies available? So I think on paper this looks like this could be good for GameStop. I don't think it's going to attract new people to say like, oh, I'm a GameFly guy, now I'll just go into GameStop. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I mean I don't think so. I'm trying to see from their point of view. I think that's what they're trying to do, and that's why they're not doing a mail distribution system.
I'm just trying to keep GameStop in business. If I was a CEO, I would have said, let's just go against GameFly or buy them out. That's what I would do.
Fair.
Like this is a stopgap to nowhere, in my opinion. It just is, because plus you're going to have to deal with the fact that employees get these games back. Now they got to check to see if they're scratched up from the last person that had it. They're not going to do that. They're not going to be testing these games and they go in and out of the store.
That's misery.
Were they going to be doing that? You think?
Oh, they will. I mean, but that's...
Are they? Does every GameStop have a 360 set up ready to go for the 360 game to come back in?
Well, no. I mean, they're not. But they don't test them when they come in, anyways.
So you don't see the problems then?
No, I do.
The customer comes in, gets a game, goes home. I'm just saying,
if it comes home and if it comes back scratched, there's probably going to be a charge. And this is the same problem as just turning in a game, though. That you're not bringing up a new problem.
But it's new in the fact that this is a whole new business venture, again, like the Retro Initiative, where they may not be fully prepared to handle the volume that they want to take on.
Are they ever prepared to handle anything?
Hey, I'm just saying. This is why, like I said, on paper, this looks like a good idea. When this rolls out, you're going to have people be like, what? I don't think there's going to be a big attach rate to this anyway. I just don't.
No, I don't see anyone looking at it. Because who are they going to try to appeal this to? People without a ton of money, younger kids. They're not going to understand the appeal of a physical rental. Anyways.
Yeah, plus a lot of these games that if it's a 2-year-old game, let's just say
it's going to be $5-6.
It'd be $10,
This
$6
is where I'm going to go
digitally.
That's where I was going to go. Well, you'd be surprised how many games go for $60 brand new digitally and sell for $10 used. I'm just telling you, it's crazy.
Okay.
But
then why wouldn't I buy it versus the rental? That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, exactly. And I'm going this way. Like if people would probably realize maybe after one shot that they might not use it as much as they think, or that the games they end up renting are, because like you said, they may not have what they want, are $5 games or $10 games. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm just saying there are people who might not even get their $60 out of it in a 6-month period.
You're looking at a very small amount of people that this is in actuality will appeal to. Like maybe people that like coming in and talking to their GameStop person every day, or the Luna employee, be like, hey Ian, let's do that Luna, let's do a retro rental program. No interest. $60 for 6 months, you get to keep a DuckTales too. That's worth it.
Yeah. No.
Ian, 2017 is officially the I told you so Pat year, because at the end of 2016, when you were convalescing, the beginning of the convalesce, a lot of people were coming out and talking about how Nintendo's dead. Nintendo's gone. They're doomed.
No good. Switch is bad. It's gonna be bad.
Worst business decisions ever. I'd be good in the video game business. Anyway, but you had strange videos come out, like Matt Pat doing a video with Reggie Fils-Aimé arguing about why Nintendo shouldn't go third party. Like I don't know why Nintendo thought that was a good idea, but they did it. The whole point is that the Switch was a sort of unknown weird entity to a lot of people, and they thought, well, it's because the Wii U was a failure. Nintendo's done forever on hardware, even though we speculated, and I speculated, like, well, it's at least going to do as well as the Wii U. It'll probably do better than the GameCube, and my prediction at the time are like 35 to 45 million units. Somewhere in between Wii and the GameCube, probably, because people that had the Wii didn't know about the Wii U, so they might get back into it. A lot of factors going on.
Well, my whole thing was, without knowing anything, we couldn't really freaking say anything anyways.
Exactly. At least. The whole point is that Nintendo wasn't going to be doomed, because they could start burning dollars and wiping their asses with the yen, and it wouldn't matter.
Businesses have bounced back from bad consoles before. They've gone from leading the pack to behind the pack to leading the pack again. It's not that crazy.
So we come here, a March release, mind you, for a system, which is tougher to start with, because it's spring. You don't have money in March. You gotta buy flowers and Easter baskets. I don't know what you buy in March.
Chickens, tiny little baby chicks,
little chicks. You have to grow up and you kill before Halloween. Anyway, that was a little dark.
Mm-hmm.
So the Switch comes out, does gangbusters, sells out, still selling well. Breath of the Wild, 10 out of 10. Odyssey's going to sell 1 billion copies. Nintendo's in pretty good shape now. They're on their way to, I think, a $1 billion year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think more than just over $1 billion
in revenue, which is insane. And then, according to this Nintendo Life article and other sources that because Nintendo had a sales call recently, had a 6-month financial results briefing. Nintendo Switch are trending well above the Wii U. And remember, when the week started, the Wii U was released in December.
Yeah. And
the Wii was released, I think, in November when it came out. So if it's better than where the Wii U was before the holiday season is even starting, that's a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's like a way better. If you look at the trend lines where it's at. So right now on this graph, so week 33. Oh, the Wii U and the Wii were both released November 19th and 18th respectively, of 2006 2012. Okay. So March 3rd for the Switch. In week 33 of all three systems, when you look at the sell-through for thousands of units, it's well above the Wii U. It's about, let's see, it's about 100% more than where the Wii U was, and it's not that far behind the Wii. Like, not that far. And again, this is before a holiday season.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
God, that Wii U line is just...
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That Wii U line was like, oh, the first 3 weeks are the holidays, and then it's just stagnant. No growth. Like, they're selling systems, but just stagnant. It's really bad. Really bad. It was done by that spring, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's doing great. I mean, look, this is blowing Nintendo. It's just stating the facts.
Yeah.
About where the system was versus all the experts predicting it. And by the way, it's like with sports. When you're wrong with these predictions, it's not like they take away your prediction card for other future. You can still bloviate and have awful predictions. You're not held accountable for a year later on your predictions. You're not. It's like when you make a new prediction, people are like, oh, well, you're not allowed to because you fucked up badly on that Switch. Doesn't happen. And I'm not saying I'm a genius for figuring this out, but to me, it was...
Really, you had 2 guesses, okay? I mean...
No, but there was a lot of common sense data up to this point that the Switch was going to be at least a moderate success.
Right.
And this is before it comes out, and people are just like, whoa, where's the third parties? Well, they're coming on board.
Faster now. Although EA is still like, man, we need to see.
Well, yeah, no, EA can blow me. If you want.
Well, they can, yeah. That's
bloviation and blow me. Because EA kicked the Wii U in the nuts, which they could have had a right to. But at least for this, it's like, how much longer do you really need to hedge your bets?
Right.
After like January, when they're gonna surpass, Wii U numbers probably by the early spring. Like what? Like when do you want to wait until to say like, okay, this looks like it's gonna be a decent.
Yeah, how many? 7.4 million consoles, I believe, is what they've said. They've stated has been sold, as per the last numbers. 7.4 million Switches. So after the holiday season,
7 months before a holiday season.
Yep,
that's pretty significant.
That's insane. And I was one of those ones who was very worried and very skittery over them.
Skittery?
I think skittery is a good word for me. over them releasing in March. I was very, very nervous about that because I was afraid that I knew it was a gamble with potentially a big payoff, and I think we're going to see that this holiday season. But I was afraid that it could potentially have the same Wii U problem, even though the Wii U was trying to be bolstered by holiday, in so much that it was going to fall flat before it had a chance to live.
Because there wasn't
enough stuff coming out fast enough to keep people interested in it until Christmas. Well, that turned out to be a fucking false. So that's great. And yeah.
By the way, that $1 billion is profit, not revenue, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why, Pat, you still do hardware sales.
Yeah.
That's why.
Fucking people.
That's why you don't go third party.
I'm a better businessman than everyone else.
I'm sorry you want to see Mario Odyssey on your PS4, but unless you're a fucking idiot.
This is why Nintendo does this stuff. But yeah, I mean, $1 billion just tidy back in the bank. But yeah, so anyways.
Which is double their prediction they made. The company, usually Nintendo, the trend for the past years with the Wii U was like, oh, we have to cut back our forecast. Ooh, this isn't. You ever seen all those reports?
Yeah.
All those reports like, oh, we're not doing as well. They actually bumped up their
forecasts.
Their forecast almost double.
Mm-hmm. That's not a Nintendo move.
No, Nintendo's pretty conservative. So they're like, oh, they're right.
But
by the way, while we're talking about this, I was looking at the top seller of in October. What's been reported, the top console seller was the Super Nintendo Classic.
Oh, really?
Was the overall top seller. So they sold like the 2 million that went out.
Oh, that's crazy.
So that was the top for the month. That beat out all the modern consoles, and that beat out the Switch even for the month, which makes sense when you think about it.
So we are calling plug and plays consoles now.
I'm just saying that's what the report was.
Okay.
I'm not saying what
but still, that's crazy.
Sold the most.
That's pretty insane.
So that's money.
More than PS4s, Switches, Xboxes. That's nuts.
I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, those consoles have been out for years. So how many millions could they sell in 1 month?
True.
You know, so it's just an interesting tale. That and again, EA is being weird about it still. I mean, it's almost like they're the spurn lovers. Like, like how much more do you want Nintendo to do before like, okay, this is.
Well, then they released that FIFA 18, and from what I heard, it was a really shitty. Like they didn't give a fuck about it.
So they're already hedging their bets.
So I mean, if they're not going to put effort into stuff, and then they're going to go based on like sales or reviews of the stuff that they really, I mean. They're making a self-fulfilling prophecy for themselves.
But then I feel bad though because that's not evidence that the Switch is doing bad. It's just a company that doesn't want to do it to begin with.
Right. If they don't want to, then just say you don't want to.
But why don't you just do a fucking decent port?
I don't know.
And people will probably buy it. Maybe there's people in there's some soccer fans in the U.S. But I mean put it out in Europe and people will buy it if they want the on-the-go action, right? So anything else about this? We're going to be passing Wii U sales numbers probably by the spring, which is like 14 million will be past it.
I actually thought it was like I think it was
Wii U sales numbers. What is the overall sales? Was it like?
We kept saying like 10.5. I think it was closer to 14.
13.56.
Okay.
So soon we'll just say if the Switch hits 14 by next year, which it will. It's going to break through that, and then where do you see it ending up now? Being that it's doing better than what people expect, do you think it'll hit 50, 60? We'll get close to a 3DS sort of thing.
It's too tough, I think, to say.
Too tough to say.
I think we need to see once they officially are like, okay, we're done with the 3DS, which is taking them longer than I would think.
Because it's hanging on,
which is okay. I love the 3DS. I'm not one of those people who is like, oh, this game should have come out for the Switch. No, I know I'm okay. I think the 3DS has its market.
It's being transitioned into like the budget system.
Yeah,
right?
and that's
the kiddie system.
And that's okay.
You know the kiddies will play Switch as well. But you see what I'm saying.
But I want to see what they do with that, and if they really do. I was talking about it with people when we were in Portland, and they were like, didn't think about that. That would be interesting. If they do like a Switch Mini or something like that, if they do, and they really do keep the Switch in line as the hybrid console, but they really maybe do like a smaller one as kind of like a portable, like we have discussed before, then yeah, I can easily see this, doing insane numbers.
All right, I might have to readjust my projection up from 35 to 45.
Well,
Maybe.
if they leave us with no other option for handheld, then I think we all of a sudden gain a huge boost in handheld sales.
Sure.
Or we gain a huge chunk of that market.
Sure. And I think the other number you have to look at, which is going to, because I saw some people saying that, oh, they only sold 2 million in the U.S. to this point, I think, which was by early October. Like, what's the big deal? And it's like, first of all, they released it in March. Second of all, you have to go back and look at like what PS4 sales were and Xbox One sales were for the first like 6 months, and they're not like that far out of that range, and those included holiday releases. A lot of those other consoles, to begin with. So once you factor those in, it's like, and plus Switch has some supply issues, so you can make an argument they could have sold more if there was more out there, but you don't know. The whole point is that it's doing gangbusters. Pat told you so, and Ian probably did too while he was convalescing.
I do want to touch on one more thing here about the Switch, and it actually goes back into what we were talking about, numbers, sales, and me thinking about handhelds. Nintendo Switch, it's been revealed through a poll. It was reported on a couple of sites. I'm looking at the report on Eurogamer.net, that the Switch is slightly more popular. Switch's handheld mode is more popular than playing on TV docked. Now, when the system came out, for whatever reason, I got a pretty violent backlash on this one. But I had stated that just through, my experiences at the store, it seemed like people were, at the time, while obviously docking it and playing on the TV, did seem to be appreciating it more as a handheld. They were using it more on the go, or, curling up in bed or on the couch and playing it that way. And for whatever reason, everyone... Well, it was just like, well, just because you do that doesn't mean I remember I use it on the TV. It was just a very weird thing. And people like to really get mad at me about certain weird stuff sometimes.
If you're taking the time to leave Ian a nasty comment on YouTube... First of all, I encourage it. No, okay. The whole point is that you're not... That's the type of person that's doing that. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. But, no, so it is interesting to see because it's funny. I've actually been using it a bit more docked now. But, yeah, so there is always this market, I think. What this says to me is that...
this is from Nintendo released this information.
Yeah. What this says to me is that the hybrid console gamble paid off hugely for them, because while the portable mode is more popular, from what I'm hearing, it's only by a bit. It was just slightly more popular. Okay. So it means that it's kind of 50-50. But it also shows to me that there is still a huge demand for being able to have a Nintendo device that you take with you on the go that is upgraded and newer.
So half the people, looks like according to this graph, about half the people play both.
Right.
And then about 30% primary mode is tabletop or handheld. And then you have about 20% where TV mode is primary. So it's about like, okay, so you have some people, primary TV. They're using it as what they expected it to be.
Right. But I think
it's paying off.
And
there's stupid hipsters on the rooftops at their parties playing it. That's actually how it's being in the commercials. That's actually how it's being used.
Norm and I at Game On Expo did it at the bar the one night when we were bored. We just sat at the fucking bar and
played a fighting game, right?
And we tabletopped it and we played some fighting games while drinking beers.
I should have got up my DSLR and did a commercial, you guys. Could have been Norm and Ian on the commercial playing King of Fighters or the hell you were playing.
It was King of Fighters and Waku Waku 7 or something like that. But yeah, so it is great. But I think what's interesting is, like I said, people want this stuff on the move as well. So if Nintendo does not replace the 3DS with something, which I don't think they will, I see them maybe remodeling the Switch. A mini Switch.
It'll be a mini Switch.
Then we see the numbers for the Switch go to the moon.
Then you can definitely say, okay, this is going to hit Wii numbers of 100 million.
I think it could potentially
because you'll combine both markets back into one.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
that's what I said too back in my rants without you. I missed you, Ian. That was tough.
Yeah,
it's a tough time. Ian. Did you just listen to me when you're cuddled? You never listened to me do my podcast?
I mean, I did, but not a lot.
So I have to deal with. Thanks for the support, Ian.
I don't listen to a lot of one-person podcasts.
It's your fucking podcast too.
I don't listen to one person talk. I listen to a lot of the important... I listen to the Nintendo ones.
Okay, Ian. All right. So speaking of Switch, Ian, there was other news that came out from Nintendo.
Is it more Nintendo? Where are we at now?
Non-traditional IPs targeted for the Switch next year, Ian.
This is actually pretty exciting, I think.
Where are we at now? I don't know. Your topic, Ian.
I mean, I knew where we were at. I'm just like, what is wrong with both of us today?
What do you mean today?
Okay, always.
It's a Sunday afternoon podcast.
Yes.
We should always do them on Sundays when we're like this, to be honest.
Well, next time I want a big plate of pancakes to just
Hey,
through.
the CU brunch cast.
To see you brunch cast.
Let's do it.
So, this I think got people a little excited. Yoshiaki Koizumi says that non-traditional Nintendo IPs are bound for Switch next year. And this is really just kind of a speculative thing, but
What the hell's a non-traditional IP mean?
well, traditional IPs would be stuff like Mario, Zelda,
Star Fox, even?
yeah, I mean
Would
maybe
you count Star Fox?
I
Because
guess
people would want a Star Fox game.
we would like a good fucking Star Fox game.
I didn't play the Wii U one. So.
Oh, I could not get into
Okay,
it.
so that's what we're talking about. We're talking, to me, a traditional IP is you're guaranteed to get that franchise in every system, in every handheld.
A Kirby, a Mario
Kart, Smash. at
Yeah,
this point.
Smash, exactly. So I think one of the problems with one of the big issues with the Wii U was it took them too long to get traditional IPs on there, or they never got a really. It never got a real game, or certain traditional IPs never got a real entry of their own.
Well, that's what helped with it. They held back Zelda for the Switch, so
Yeah, so I mean, Zelda never got a real entry on the Wii U. I mean, it got it, but it was in its final form. It was obviously meant for the Switch, not for the Wii U. Mario got releases in New Super Mario Bros. U, which is a lot of fun, and Super Mario 3D World, which was great, but people were still looking for that new big Mario adventure, like a Sunshine or a Mario 64.
or even a Galaxy.
Or a Galaxy.
Even a Galaxy.
Which Galaxy was great, but
They didn't get it.
They didn't get those.
Yeah.
They never got them. They got a Metroid Prime 3 Corruption at the beginning, and then nothing. No, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I'm sorry, that was on the the regular Wii. And I mean, they led off with Pikmin 3, which
See, to me, that's a non-traditional.
that is a non-traditional IP.
And one, it's not going to get people that
You
interested.
don't lead with a non-traditional IP. You lead with traditional IPs, and then you bring back the non-traditional IPs. So, but then people got upset because they didn't really see. I mean, you didn't see fucking anything. So
They knew the Wii U. They knew was dead in 6 months.
right, which is why people wanted stuff like Metroid, but never got it.
Been a waste of time. Why would you put it on a system no one buys?
Right, which is why people wanted a big real Mario, but no one got it. Nintendo saw the writing on the wall. So next year,
I have a list of Nintendo franchises on Wikipedia. We're gonna go through all of these.
Clue Land.
Animal Crossing.
That's becoming more traditional. I think we do need to see a new console one, so hopefully next year.
So you have no interest in the mobile thing.
Sure, but that
won't satisfy people?
That's not a satisfactory response. I mean, that's not a satisfactory.
That won't satisfy people's urge, though.
No.
Okay. Brain Age. I love Brain Age, but come on.
No.
The Cruising series. Will that come back?
Actually, there was like a
The new arcade one.
yeah, there was that new arcade one.
Is that worth putting
No.
out on?
No.
Okay. Donkey Kong in some form. He's traditional though. He's mostly he's traditional. He's the first.
They
guy.
did start. He's traditional, and they have started releasing games with like side scrollers with him again.
Okay. Chibi Robot.
Maybe. They tried to bring him back on the 3DS with Ziplash. People didn't like it.
F-Zero. I think that we'll have an F-Zero on the Switch.
I think we will have an F-Zero on the Switch.
I think that's guaranteed. That's when I hear non-traditional. I'm like F-Zero. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Game & Watch on the Switch. Could they make that an interesting franchise?
They could. There's a way they could if they took Game and Wario and got rid of the gimmicks.
Golden Sun
And
Fire Emblem. I'll throw them together.
Fire Emblem definitely. Actually, already they just released Fire Emblem Heroes. Plays like Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, okay.
It's out.
Okay. Will you see Kid Icarus on the Switch?
That's the one that I was gonna say. I'm hoping we do.
I think that is the one where Nintendo's probably thinking, is there, because they put out the game on the Wii U, right?
They put out
What?
they put out the ROM. They put out one on the 3DS,
Oh, it's 3DS. I'm sorry.
and it had it was structurally a very good game, but they made you use a stupid dumb fucking control mechanic because Nintendo loves to force stupid dumb control mechanics into your hands.
Okay.
If they did it again as a twin stick style of game, as like a third person shooter, it would be fantastic. And they've already put some effort into it. There's already an amiibo for it. I would love to see them expound on that game.
Okay, so to me, that's non-traditional. I don't know if they're going to have a Kid Icarus game. I don't know.
I'm wishing and wishing, and I think that's definition of a non-traditional IP for them.
I think you're going to get a new Mario Party game, if not releasing the greatest hits package on the Switch. That's a no-brainer.
That's traditional, though.
Sure, but that's not like first tier. But I think they're testing the waters with that. You have to put that out on the Switch. I mean, it's a party console.
Let's go with the hard hitters, dude. Ice Climber, Mock Rider, Urban Champ.
No, but seriously though, how about Pilot Wings?
Yeah. I think we
think
could.
that?
Well, they did bring that back at the launch of the 3DS. I mean, we could. Although Pilot Wings seems to have always been used as a demo for system capabilities. So we might be beyond that.
Okay, how about a Punch-Out game?
Yes.
You think for sure?
Yeah.
On the Switch?
I think
It makes sense. It's because we already have arms. So.
We have arms, but Punch-Out could be more traditional.
But you can use the two Joy-Cons. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
You can make it a little more complex, the fighting system versus pattern-based if you want to. I think Star Fox for sure.
Yes.
I see. On here.
Metroid's already been announced.
Well, that's a major one to me. I don't think that's a.
It is, but they've been treating it as a non-traditional.
Sure, but that's traditional. And then you'll get a new Wario game. You'll get. It's always fun.
I need a new Wario game in my life. Whether, like I said, whether they take the Game and Watch approach like they did with the last one, or they just give us a new WarioWare.
You'll get a new one like on the Wii. Like you'll get one that's. You have the fucking Joy-Cons. There's so many more things you can do with the Joy-Cons than even the Wiimote. And the Wiimote.
Yeah,
the Wii
I'm
was
talking
fantastic.
a new WarioWare would be great.
Yeah, so that'll be fine. And then the Wars franchise.
Oh yeah, Advanced Wars would be awesome.
You think you'll get it? Well, it might be.
It's
good for a handheld.
That's mostly for handheld, and that would be great for on the go.
Okay, so you're gonna see a bunch of these, but I wonder how soon will it come first.
Yeah.
I think the Wario game will be huge.
Ice Climber will be amazing
because it'll replace 1-2 Switch and actually have a character behind it.
Yes,
to be goofier.
They'll have a lot more time to think it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the game I played the most on the Wii. I think with Smooth Moves.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's sad or not.
It's fun.
But that's what I think I played the most was that.
I want to know Clue Land.
You want? I'm sure you do. Ian.
I do.
We already talked about the Super Nintendo Classic selling 2 million. So that's on its way there.
The CU podcast is sponsored by Loot Crate, and November's theme is Unite.
nice and warm and natural, Ian.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, Ian.
You know about Loot Crate?
They're a proud sponsor of the CU podcast.
That's
Ian.
right, they are.
They got the monthly geek delivery box that gives you exclusive items and a T-shirt every month.
Every month. And this month's theme, November's theme, is Unite 2.0. It's the sequel to the popular Unite theme.
Unite was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was actually a really good month.
And yeah, definitely deserves the sequel treatment. It will be filled with stuff from Justice League of America, Voltron, Legendary Defenders, Overwatch, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And
well, Ian, when can you get that box until?
That one's until November 19th.
How would you get that?
Well,
you would go to lootcrate.com/Pat and enter code PAT for 10% off any new subscription.
That is the easiest code to remember.
It is. It's PAT.
PAT.
It's less than $20 a month. If you're a fanatical fashionista, you can try Lootwear. And the Lootwear is quality. I've seen socks. I've seen soccer jerseys, more T-shirts, hoodies, Girlfriend steals half of them. That's all I'm going to say about that.
There's also Loot Pets if you want to geek out your pet. You are more than welcome to try to dress my cat. I will not be trying to do that.
So in terms of the Unite 2.0, you're also going to get, you mentioned the first full season of Batman.
Ooh,
Batman, the Telltale series.
Oh, that's excellent. That's a really good game, actually.
That's the month's DLC. That's a $25 Steam game.
Yep.
Right there.
And it's
pays for itself right there.
Really quite a good game.
So again, you have until the 19th of November at 9 p.m. Pacific to sign up to get the Unite 2.0 crate, and that's at lootcrate.com/Pat. Enter code PAT to save. And you know what? That's it. That's it. Fruit and veggie bars. You know them. You love them. They're the all-natural snack. You know what's in That's It fruit? Just fruit. That's it.
That's it. Nothing more.
You got an apple, and you got like another fruit. You got like a blueberry in there.
10 of them,
or
maybe.
Or a mango.
Some strawberries, cherries.
Strawberries. There's a cherry one.
Pears.
Apricot. There's a few others. And then there's That's It.
Apricot really is like it's a clutch hitter. I always forget about apricot, but sometimes I reach in
the 7 spot there.
It's like 3:30 in the morning, and I don't want to go rooting through the boxes. I'm like, oh, it's apricot. Oh, apricot, you're good.
Pear. There's a pear.
I said pear. Pear's delicious.
Oh,
ginger pear. The zesty variety is good.
And then there's That's It veggie bars, which are black beans and peas, black beans and carrot. I think the peas come to my favorite one. Corn's good.
Salty, crunchy, delicious.
It's good.
I like the extra chew of the carrot ones. The carrot ones got a little...
So if you want to go and order the fruit or veggie bars, you go to that'sitfruit.com, enter code CUPodcast, and you save 10% on any new order. Or you can wait 3 seconds, and we're going to tell you about That's It Bites.
How come you didn't give me any banana bites?
I gave you bites. You want a banana? You want them?
I want banana bites.
Take it, Ian. Take it.
God damn it! Thank you. I didn't get any banana ones.
So he's gonna hold up right now. He's gonna hold up right now. Limited edition. Don't break your teeth, Ian. So That's It Bites are. It's 2 servings of fruit. 2? It's 2. Because you get the apple, you get the combo, which is the banana in there.
Can't open these.
And it's covered with dark chocolate, and it's all natural. Around 150 calories, no preservatives, gluten-free, not GMO, no soy. It's vegan, certified paleo, and he just eats one. They're truffle-sized. You get.
My mouth is all over this.
No, exactly. I'm not touching that. I got another one. It's delicious.
Yeah, I mean the coconut ones are fantastic. I have those at home.
It's like candy, but it's all natural. They don't add any extra sugar besides what's already in the organic dark chocolate.
Strawberry is so good.
Blueberry's good.
Blueberry, yeah.
My favorite might be the blueberry.
I have the blueberry, strawberry, and blueberry, strawberry, and coconut.
Here's the deal, folks, and I'm a big chocolate guy.
Mm-hmm.
You eat these actually, because there's fruit in them, and like it's not processed shit. The apple's in there, and it's the same stuff in the That's It fruit bar. So like when I have 5 of these, you get like five big truffles. I'm full. Mm-hmm. After having a bag of it, it's only 150 calories and for dessert, if I eat 150 calories, I'm getting off, no pun intended, light. Otherwise, I'll eat like a freaking whole chocolate bar, But these are fine. These will be fine for you, for that.
Dark chocolate, high in antioxidant.
It is.
Yep.
So that's it in the bites. You get the fruits and you get the chocolate.
Throw 5 of these in a glass of red wine and knock it back, and you're good to go.
You're
a Superman.
I never tried that. Have you tried that, Ian?
No, but I will.
Is that approved on the read? I don't know, but you can try it.
I'll report back.
So again, go to that'sitfruit.com, use code CUPodcast when checking out, and get 10% off your That's It fruit bars, your veggie bars. The new That's It bites, which are, it's incredible because they're dessert and somehow they make it healthy at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what's next? That's It steak. I mean, what's gonna come next? You're just staring at the bag
because they're just good, man.
Yeah, and so check them out, and proud sponsor with us.
Tell them Pat and Ian sent you.
Yeah, tell them on Twitter at That's It. Is it at That's It Fruit on Twitter? What is it?
It's That's It.
Just that's it. That's it. They don't need any extra words. That's it.
Nope.
And then it's also available at your local CVS. Ian, we're in a time of multi-game consoles coming out every other month. May not be named with a dead company from the past,
Right.
but there's also a lot of new multi-carts that are coming out, and they have come out in the past. We've covered them before with Jalico ones in the past, Game Boy. We covered Wisdom Tree ones in the past, multi-carts, but
Yeah.
but we have new ones on the way as
Right.
well from
We do.
Retrobit.
So these interest me because they're done by Jalico. Oh, well, they're Jalico Classics repackaged. Data East, Jalico Games, both companies that have made stuff I really enjoy. And Retrobit makes Retrobit makes the modern clone consoles and stuff like this, and now they're getting into cartridges. So they're doing a Data. We'll get into the games in a minute. They're doing a Data East All-Star Collection for NES, a Data East Classic Collection for Super Nintendo, Data East Joe and Mac Collection for Super Nintendo, a Jalico Brawler Pack for Super Nintendo.
All right, where do you want to start here?
So we'll start real quick with the Data East All-Star Collection.
By the way, the NES cart's going to be $30. Super Nintendo one's be $35.
So I'll say right away that I think the idea of doing publisher-based multi-carts is pretty interesting. I do think that's kind of cool, especially when you're going for these lesser-known developers. They appear to come with pins, some cool stickers. Some of them look like stickers I've actually seen in the past, so they might be repros of like original stickers. That's neat. So the Data East All-Star Collection on the NES has Ring King, Bad Dudes, Side Pocket, Burger Time, and Buggy Popper. Buggy Popper is Bump and Jump.
And these are the NES version.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for $30, gotta be honest, Burger Time and Bump and Jump are the two games that really stand out on that collection for me as being, decent.
Not Side Pocket?
And I was gonna say here, hold on. And Side Pocket's pretty fun too. Ring King, Bad Dudes, I could probably do without. Okay, I don't know why you're pulling that one out. Anyways, the Data East collection on the SNES has Fighter's History.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay.
What else comes with this package here? You get some feelies in there.
Oh yeah, I mean I mentioned that. I mentioned.
But specifically, what do you get there? You get some cute stuff. You get a button set.
Yeah, a button set.
Hug it out, Ring King guys, and a button of what's the chef's name from Burger Time? I don't know his name.
Peter Pepper.
Okay, you got little stickers. You can stack a burger there.
You get the original sticker collection,
and you get an actual full color instruction manual.
Yeah.
So there's some value there for $30, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think there is value there. I think there is. I think, like I said when I was talking about the stickers and stuff, I think it's a neat collection. To me, you'd be selling me on weird stuff like the stickers. The games contained on the cart, I would say like 3 out of 5 of those, are good games. They're also not entirely expensive games to just own outright, though.
Sure. But I think that's not the point with having a multi-cart new release. Yeah.
No, it's not.
All right, what do you think about the Data East Classic Collection for Super Nintendo here?
That's Fighter's History, Mizoguchi, Magical Drop 2, and Super Side Pocket. For me, that's a little too much double dipping, I think. Magical Drop is great. It's fun, but you don't need the first Magical Drop if you've got Magical Drop 2. Fighter's History is, the famous Street Fighter 2 ripoff, and it's not very good, and you certainly don't need the first one if you've got Mizoguchi. Super Side Pocket, it's still Side Pocket.
As I say, I don't know I don't think I've ever played Super Side Pocket. I'm sure it's just more graphically closer to the arcade.
It's a graphically cleaner Side Pocket.
Sure.
This one,
and you still get a couple of pins.
Yeah, you get a get a funny
buttons.
Fighter's History set button, Magical Drop button, and then
that probably doesn't appeal to me as much.
No, this one not so much.
Versus the NES one.
Now this one is. These next two, though, I think are particularly cool. The Data East Joe and Mac Ultimate Caveman Collection for Super Nintendo brings the 3 Joe and Mac games together. Joe and Mac Congo's Caper and Joe and Mac 2 Lost in the Tropics. The Super Nintendo versions are arguably the best versions of any of those of Joe and Mac.
Okay.
The second in the
It's not the NES version, that's for sure.
yeah. The other two games are not cheap to get anymore. I mean, they're fairly expensive.
What does the first one go for?
First one is relatively inexpensive. I want to
Still
say.
is?
I want to say like 15-20 or something.
Oh
like
wow,
that.
it's more than I thought it'd be. And the second one though is always a lot harder to find.
Yeah, second one's expensive, and Congo's Caper is expensive as well.
Congo's Caper, was that the second or third in the
I
series?
think that's technically the second, and Joe and Mac 2 is technically the third.
Okay,
But
so I have no experience with Congo's Caper.
they're fun. I can't remember the proper order. Fact of the matter is, they're two games that are not particularly cheap. And they're pretty decent games.
Mm-hmm.
So what's cool about this one is it's it's like the Ninja Gaiden trilogy or something like that, where you're getting all the games on one cart. That's a nice package. Thematically, it works. I really like the Tyrannosaurus bumper sticker. I think
Is it a bumper sticker or it's a sticker?
Well,
it's a sticker. It's not a bumper sticker.
Well, it's a long sticker, yeah. I really like the pin that's Joe and Mac and Joe and Mac and Joe
Really?
and Mac.
You like that?
I think that's clever.
And then you get a little booklet.
Yeah, and then you get the booklet, and I do think the Super Nintendo like specially designed cartridge is neat looking, and so yeah, I mean, and this is not a commercial, but I do think this is a cool one, and then this one I think is pretty awesome as well. Not that these games were great, but there is and some people know about it, but the loosely tied, little known, I guess, Jalico Brawler series that was Rival Turf, Brawl Brothers, The Peacekeepers, and then I guess Tough Enough.
I thought it was only 3 out of the 4.
Yeah,
I
thought there was only 3. Yeah, 3 of these are part of the series.
Let's see, I'm looking it up.
I don't think Tough Enough.
The Rushing Beat Rans series, or Rushing Beat series. So you had Rival Turf, then you had Brawl Brothers and the Peacekeepers.
Yeah, Tough Enough is not. Okay. So you get that entire trilogy, which is not also, I believe one of those is going for a fairly decent amount.
Tough Enough I thought was always a cheap one to get.
Rival Turf and Tough Enough are cheap.
The other 2 are a little more expensive.
The other 2 are a little more expensive, and Tough Enough is just kind of thrown in there to be thrown in. But once again, I think that's cool because it's thematic, it makes sense.
Sure.
You don't have to chase down a couple of more expensive cartridges, and it's there. So all in all, I think I like the idea of taking their games, the idea of taking a game series and getting it all on one cartridge officially, more than just slapping some games onto it.
Was Tough Enough, was that a fighting game more than a brawler? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, so that's why that's outside of the other 2.
Yes.
Okay. So they just threw it in just to throw it in.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
So
there is a story mode to Tough Enough.
Yes.
Now I remember playing that. There is a weird story mode, but it's still technically to me a fighting game. Okay.
So, long and short of it, I think these multi-carts are an interesting idea. Like to see how well they would play, I guess.
Well,
the quality of them.
They're just the ROMs with the menu.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, they should be fine.
To be exactly the same in theory.
But I definitely prefer the idea of the thematic ones as opposed to the ones that don't seem as.
I love the idea of the NES ones because I love the little Burger Time and little stickers. I think it's adorable. And if I had to get a second one, I don't know. I think the Brawlers pack appeals to me a little bit more than the other 2 if I had to go to get a second one.
I would probably honestly do both the Super Nintendo ones. I mean, there's
3 Super Nintendo ones. So you do the
I do Brawlers and Joe and Mac.
Sure. I think soon though you'd find out you'd run out of quality multi carts you could probably do and have it for a reasonable price like this because there's a reason why they can do a $30 cartridge because these not like a lot of people are clamoring after playing Side Pocket on the NES, except for my friend.
Yeah, right.
He'll be excited about the news, though.
Yeah, he will.
I mentioned that story in a certain NES guidebook about that. I was kind of a sociopath, my friend. He always, every time I talk about the NES for probably 6 years in a row, yeah, remember that game? What was that billiards game? Yeah, Side Pocket? Yeah, that's the one. Every time. Not a joke either. It's crazy. Hope you don't hear this, AJ. Anyway, so okay, that's fun. and I think there might be other ventures that follow suit. But again, it'd be hard to find quality multi carts that you can probably have a thematic sort of.
Yeah, missed opportunity for some good Jalico Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo ones, though.
Oh, I'm sure other companies might follow suit eventually.
But I'm just saying, like, if they're doing Jalico and Dead East, why not do a Jalico one with like a City Connection, a Bases Loaded, Wampum?
Well, the Bases Loaded carts are worth $1 each, so I mean, like,
yeah,
no one's going back to play
Goal
Bases Loaded 2. Yeah, like I said, you're running out of steam already when it comes to Jalico. Like it's a little tough, but at least on the NES.
All right,
Ian, we have a scumbag
seller
of
the
week. Seller Alia Jorda -0 reproduction games. Sometimes you call them counterfeits.
Sometimes
These are repros of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Panzer Dragoon 2's Y, and regular Panzer Dragoon, right?
Yes.
So these are going for $115.
Oh my god.
And the discs are just like regular, like you can do like with what are those called, the light burner where you can put your own logo on.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Is it even that or stickers? They're not even. They don't have the artwork on the front. When you look at all the pictures.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah. No, it's awful.
And then it looks like a cheap plastic, DVD thin pack is what it's in. So
it's
all right.
real bad.
It's not and we've covered these scumbag sellers the week before. So does it even have the back? It has the back and front, so that's printed up. So okay. The good news is this: you can't confuse this as being a counterfeit with an original.
No fucking way.
I mean, it's still piracy and it's still wrong, right? But so the pricing, you can talk about what the prices of reproduction counterfeit games should be. $115 for 3 of these. The cost of materials was less than $10, probably $6. Whatever. You put some time into it. All right, I'll give you $10 each. I don't know what's reasonable.
Sure.
For a burned fucking reproduction. But then you go into the description. These are high quality reproductions. They're not. And we've covered reproductions always. So now I feel bad for the other scumbag sellers who actually put time and effort into theirs. These are high quality reproductions meant for people like me that like to play and own these games at a fraction of the cost.
A fraction.
$150 is a fraction of the cost. These are not truly meant for the collectors trying to sell them for a profit in 10, 20 years. Well, I don't think you should be able to sell them. Although I would assume they will go up in price and demand as the originals do.
No. No. Just look. All right. Okay. I've seen.
There's gross scumbag sellers of the league that haven't hit this note yet.
I mean, I've watched in horror as like certain like particularly well done counterfeit, reproductions of games like Sapphire have gone up in value.
If they're ones that look like they were well done.
Really well done. They came out at like 50 and then now they go for like 100 because they ran out. And even that's weird to me because anyone could always just remake those counterfeits. But we're talking about ones that, I mean, sadly almost look like they could, almost pass for the real deal if it weren't for certain markings on them. This is a guy who literally just printed out CDs that say Panzer Dragoon Saga on them. These are not
generic font.
I got the really limited generic font Panzer Dragoon Saga fucking repros in my like. I mean, it's not. I mean,
this
no.
isn't even like what was it? I mean, they're not legitimate. The PC Engine Works re-releases of some US Turbo CD games, like they look nice, but they're not authentic.
Kind of what I was talking about, but yeah.
You see what I mean, though. But at least with that, you can say, oh, there's craftsmanship to this. Maybe someone might want this in 20 years. Maybe. No one's gonna want this.
Yeah.
No one. This is dog shit.
Right. This is literally shit scraped off of a boot.
The other scumbag sellers of the week that we've covered should be ashamed of this scumbag of the week for making them look bad. Oh, then he mentions, oh, by the way, you can't play unless your console's region free or modded because it's a burn. So, So it's no longer a fraction because I mean, as he explains, you have to get an action replay monitor cartridge or a Saturn cartridge, you know, with the memory plus one. That'll run you $20 or $30,
Right.
you know, as well. So I'm not sure what audience this is for, because for $115, you can. I would rather just spend 2 seconds to find the torrents and burn them myself. You're not really saving anyone any time versus the quality here.
He had a fever illusion while pissing out of his ass on the toilet at like 3 in the morning. Was like, I'm gonna make a lot of money, and then he called his dog over to take down some dictations. and
of course, there's other burn stuff for sale like Potful Mail,
oh, good,
Snatcher, but it's not repro. It says Sega CD, 32 games, Sonic, and then details in parentheses, meaning you have to look at the details to make sure that. Let's see. Oh, here you go. These look extremely nice sitting right next to your other DVD type cases. They are much better than the original. Is that right? These are reproductions, not the authentic discs. They look much better than the original.
much better.
Much better. Kind of a ballsy scumbag seller of the week.
Yeah, really.
Kind of ballsy. He's going. He's got chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
He's really going for it. All right, so for these reasons, you are the not you, Ian. Olio Jordan's the scumbag seller of the week.
Okay, that's good. I haven't sold anything on my own this week.
Is this another "Told You So," Ian? But this is for 2015 and 16 and 14.
I mean, whenever we started, yeah.
Told You So.
2013 was when we started.
First podcast.
First podcast was 2013.
So he's saying you didn't like. That's when Man of Steel first came out. Already, yeah, 4 years ago.
Prior to that, yeah. Holy fuck. All right. So, this is pretty interesting, and
why you guys gonna hate on DC? Well, an actor is.
Wonder Woman corrects previous DC Universe mistake, says Henry Cavill.
Who's Superman, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Right.
Not in real life, but in the movies.
Darn handsome Superman. Too bad his Superman sucks.
It's not American, though. They're all taking their jobs. They're all taking their jobs. Anyway, go on.
Excuse me. All right. So, Henry Cavill came out and said in an interview that he felt that Wonder Woman really marked a new start for the DC universe, and that he hopes that going forward, it will be the kind of the new tone for the rest of the movies, which is it can have a stylistically darker look. It doesn't always have to be bright and rainbows, but he wants he thinks the tone can be lighter.
You're allowed to tell a joke or have levity.
Yeah, you're allowed to have fun, tell a joke, levity, etc. He says that he said he understands, you know, the problems that had happened with the 3 films beforehand. Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad. And he talks about how he said they made the right mistakes, which means, almost in my mind,
who made the right mistakes?
That they made the right mistakes. The films.
Okay.
That they made the right mistakes because they were the perfect mistakes to make to learn and go forward properly. Which to me means we made such bad mistakes that to learn from them, all we have to do is the exact opposite of what we did.
So this is the actual quote. We can start telling the stories in the way they need to be told. Cavill told Rake magazine, "It is even better to come back from a mistake or stylistic error into the correct vein because it will make it seem that much stronger. Wonder Woman was the first step in the right direction." Basically saying the Snyderverse was fucking awful.
Yeah, and I also see what he says. I think what he's saying is, and I loved Wonder Woman, but I think one of the reasons why Wonder Woman did so well, or was so refreshing for myself and a lot of other people, was we went into that beaten down and with no expectations. And to see that movie come out so well and such a sharp turn from everything else, it's like he said, it'll make that correction. It'll make that seem so much stronger.
I think there were expectations for Wonder Woman that it was going to be better because the teasers and trailers looked like it had some fun to
Sure,
it.
but we were all worried. I mean, it's not like anyone was going into it being like, yeah, this is going to be fine. 4th time's the charm, right? That's the saying.
I think by that point we knew that they knew it had to be corrected.
Sure.
Corrected. They had to do that. But it's big though, because when you go back to the interviews from Batman v Superman from a year ago, when it was getting trashed by the critics, and the now famous meme of Henry Cavill sitting next to Ben Affleck, and hello, Darcy, and it was like Affleck realizes this is shit.
Yeah,
I'm involved with shit.
Mm-hmm.
And but Henry is there doing his best to. It's like, yeah, the fans are like. The guy can't come out and say he's under contract. He can't shit on the movies he's in.
Right.
But he has to realize that there's problems here.
Right.
So this isn't me. Again, this isn't an I told you show, but everyone out there that attacked me and Ian, when the fucking stars of the movie agree with us,
yeah,
and the producers behind the scene have corrected it.
Right.
What do you want us to say?
A line that I like is another line that Cavill states is, yes, it has made money, but it hasn't been a critical success. He says about the DCEU. It hasn't,
except for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it hasn't given everyone that sensation which superheroes should give the viewer.
Uplifting, maybe a little bit of hope.
And like I said, it doesn't always have to, but to have your entire universe centered around the dark, it doesn't work that way. You can still have moments of light and have a dark superhero movie, and that's fine.
You know what the darkest superhero movie ever was? Logan.
Oh yeah,
pretty fucking dark.
Yeah, Logan was rough. I mean,
pretty fucking rough to watch and get through for a lot of reasons. But you know what? There was moments of levity.
Yeah,
there were some jokes, and there was actually an uplifting message to it.
Yeah,
through all the fucking grimdark stuff that you can say.
Yep.
And there actually was some color in it too, by the way. Yeah. Even with location.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tired of hearing this bullshit where, well, it's dark, it has to be serious, or you can't have any moments of lightness, levity. Go watch Logan.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
I love Dark Knight Returns, but I mean, I almost resent it for making people think that every superhero movie had to be this dark,
to be that serious.
Right.
You can't have anything serious to say unless you're, beat down by imagery and having Batman's back be broken and having Bane murder people every 5 seconds. No, there's a medium somewhere.
Right.
I'm not saying Civil War was a perfect movie. There were some dark things happening and some deeper messages going on there. But still some light moments in that movie.
Sure.
Still some, even in the bad times, there's still a joke here or there you can crack a smile. You need that to keep going, otherwise you want to pound your head into the ground. So the other thing I'm going to bring up, though, is also... So, not that Wonder Woman was a semi-reboot. I think this movie is going to be Justice League. We don't know how much of it was reshot by Joss Whedon. We have no idea. He could have reshot 90% of the movie. Because they reshot for like 4 months.
Of Justice League?
For Justice League. They reshot for a while.
Did they really? It feels like it was only... Doesn't feel like it was that long ago that they announced it. I'm not denying it. I'm not saying you're wrong, but wow. Yeah, I mean, if they reshot for 4 months, that could be a whole shitload.
That's what it looks like. When you go back and watch... the trailers, the one that just came out, it's harder to tell from what it looks like.
I did actually see the most recent trailer last night, finally.
Maybe they didn't do 90% of it. But I'll say this. From looking at the action scenes, look like the same shots from trailer to trailer, but all the little interaction and dialogue shit...
Totally is not Snyder. That is
totally
not
done.
Snyder.
Because you know why? They all have a humorous little quip in there, some sort of lightness, not just Flash, Batman... That's not Snyder at all.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Nope.
The little thing with Flash going, oh, they just left. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. He leaves like awkwardly. That's not Snyder. I'm not even casting judgment. I'm just saying Justice League should be something entirely different than Batman v Superman. And supposedly they even cut out Lex Luthor entirely from the fucking movie.
Oh, really?
That's what the word is. Gone. Excised. I'm not sure how they do that because he's part of the lead up, but they did it.
Don't care.
And I think, and the other rumor was that Darkseid was supposed to show up and wreck house, but they said let's hold off on that. Let's not.
Oh, really? Because Vonnie's first thing was when she saw the trailer, she goes, "Oh, this looks like Darkseid."
The first one.
The trailer from last night.
But I think that supposedly they have Steppenwolf is going to be the main. Is that the name? He's going to be a lot bigger. He's going to be like the main primary.
Oh, okay.
And so like in the background you'll have Darkseid. Like they'll wait to get there, like with Thanos, how they've been waiting
Gotcha.
forever. That at least what the word was, that they're trying to be more measured now and not just fucking throw. Let's kill Superman off and have Doomsday in a movie that doesn't need him. Let's just do it just to do it. I saw it on a plane. I finally saw the last hour, which is all the battle and the Doomsday stuff. Wasn't fun. It wasn't awful. It wasn't fun.
Right.
I can say that. And I did see Suicide Squad. Most of it, fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
Abysmal. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay.
Some sort of
But there's hope.
there's hope.
You want to talk about the Amazon Retro Zone?
I don't know anything about it. It's up to you.
Okay. The Amazon Retro Zone, this is not totally self-serving. I think it's interesting, though, because someone alerted me because this is self-serving. A certain NES guidebook is on the Amazon Retro Zone. So it's a website that I guess is curated. When you click on your Amazon, at least I have Amazon Prime, you have like the different departments, CD and vinyl, health, video games. There's a Retro Zone now that shows up. I don't know if it's for everyone or for some people. It's curated, featuring games, exclusive items. There's a curated part where, like, here's the top retro clothing. Here's the top retro toys.
It wants to sell me exclusive soundtracks.
Here's the best books, including a certain NES guidebook. So, like, there's a bunch of stuff here that you could look at that's there. So, is this where you know that retro's hit sort of a peak mass market cultural shift, that if Amazon realized we got to get in on this? Is this too natural? Is this a force to have something like this, where do I need a specific page just to shop all retro
no,
at the
we
same
don't.
time? Okay.
No, what I don't like about pages like this is inevitably they're missing something.
Inevitably.
They're missing shut the fuck up. They're missing something. When you try to have like it's like when you search by category, you're always missing something. These big sites don't catch everything properly when they try to do things into categories: books, music, housewares, whatever. I'd rather just search all things and you're gonna find it anyway. I don't know why I would need to go to Amazon's special retro page to run a search for something retro. That seems dumb.
Did they get rid of the book section on this page? It's not here today. Damn it.
Well, I don't know. Retro gamers are fickle. But yeah, I don't think that this really serves a point.
Well, they are also pushing Twitch, because Amazon owns Twitch. They're pushing the top retro channels. And when you click on it, you can see an assortment. So I guess they're just trying to build an environment, synergy, as you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that all the top retro channels on Twitch don't have any viewers. I don't know what that tells you about Twitch and retro, but 3 viewers.
Really,
viewers.
all this is trying to do, now that I'm looking at it, is trying to sell iPhone apps.
Is that what it's trying to do?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
and the Glow Hockey exclusive Amazon table. Actually, that looks interesting. Let's see the.
It's an app.
Oh, it's an app.
I just looked at it because I was like, I like
get
air
in.
hockey and things that glow. Let me check this out. Oh, it's an app.
Oh, I'm not as excited now about
The
it.
Rayforce Race Storm. I'm like, I would buy the soundtracks for those shooters. Oh no, it's just for the apps that apparently have soundtracks that are new on them.
Okay, there are.
And then they sell the flashbacks, and then I can get that cool Nintendo 64 shirt. Yeah, no, so it's dumb. This is dumb.
Well, I can't say that to my Amazon overlords because they might be promoting a certain NES guidebook on the retro.
I can say it.
You can say that.
I can say it. Retrozone's dumb.
Well, this could maybe be something for the holiday season you want to check out if you have like a gift shop idea. This is coming off as it's not an advertisement. It really is.
No, this is coming off as a segment that just never needed to exist.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I mean, this exclusive Amazon skin.
All right.
All right.
We'll move on to the Q&A. All right, Q&A time on the CU podcast. This is from at Keeping Up Gaming. Netflix cut ties with Kevin Spacey following the allegations. Was this the right move?
Yes, this was the move that they should have made. I mean, fuck.
We're talking about the sexual harassment and assault allegations against Kevin Spacey.
So Kevin Spacey was called out by Anthony Rapp for sexual harassment. Rapp was, I believe, 14. Spacey was 26.
So this would have been 30 years ago.
Yeah, this was 30 years ago. They were at a party, and Kevin Spacey climbed on top of him in a bedroom, tried to make advances. Rapp got away, and so he was bothered, Rapp, with the whole sexual abuse scandal that's been going on in Hollywood. Oh, probably forever, but really out in the public.
Make sure we get this right. He picked him up, placed him on his bed, and the party had finished.
After the party had finished.
Spacey then climbed on top of him, allegedly climbed on top of him and made sexual advances before he managed to wriggle free.
Right.
26, Spacey was, and Anthony Rapp was 14.
14.
Ugh.
Yeah, gross.
And other people came out with stories saying that Tony Montana, saying that Kevin Spacey grew up to him in an LA pub in 2003. Daniel Beale said he flashed him outside a hotel in Goodwood, Sussex in 2010. And more. There's like 6 to 7 more that have come out.
So Anthony Rapp came out with this news because everyone's coming out with the news now. It's now they feel like it's a safe environment now for, everyone's coming out with this information. And Kevin Spacey decided it was a good time to come out and not really apologize to anyone. So it basically nothing about this is good for Kevin Spacey.
Here's the newest one, by the way. This is literally today when we record this. Richard Dreyfuss' son claims Kevin Spacey groped him while his father was in the room.
Oh,
what the fuck?
Okay.
What the fuck?
Okay, well, I gotta get
through this. Is that real?
Gotta get through this throwing up. So, right.
Holy shit.
So Spacey, not only was accused of sexually assaulting a minor, but he basically brushed it off and said he didn't remember it, and then decided it was a good time for him to come out as homosexual, and basically made the whole situation about him.
And then, first of all, everyone knew Kevin Spacey was a homosexual for like 20 years.
Yeah,
so like it wasn't.
He's joked about it forever.
Yeah, he's joked about it forever. But then to conflate it with the whole predatory
thing. I mean, really, it could not have been I cannot conceive of a worse way for him to have handled this. I mean, I'm sure I could, but let's not.
He could have, but I mean, this is bad.
This is really bad. So, anyways, his agents leave him, etc., etc. And of course,
at first, they were putting the season 6 of House of Cards on hiatus. At first, they said we're gonna go on hiatus. Now Netflix says we're done working with Kevin Spacey.
Good. I realize that there are people who are like, it's going to be on a cliffhanger. My question is, I
love House of Cards.
I know you do, and I've heard it's a great show. And now I have no reason to start watching it. I mean, I couldn't watch it now at this point, at least. Certainly not this. But who would want to work with Kevin Spacey long enough to finish one more season?
And by the way, there's allegations of him doing weird behavior on the set.
It's obviously the right... I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts here. It's obviously the right move for them to drop him like a hot sack of shit, because he's a fucking piece of garbage. Why would you voluntarily keep him attached to a show, no matter how popular it is? They've made the money off of that show. They've made their money off of him. There is zero reason to to leave him on board. I mean, they did the right thing.
I mean, it's disappointing for everyone. I mean, Kevin Spacey was one of the most beloved actors. This is all his doing. Obviously, he fucked it up.
I love Seven. He's in Seven for like fucking 10 minutes. But I mean, he's
L.A. Confidential. He's great in. Like anything you watch, Kevin Spacey,
but
he's a great actor.
It doesn't matter.
Well, sure, because it's always what I always talk about in the past. Like, can you separate the art from the artist?
Oftentimes, I cannot.
And that's fair. If you can't go back and watch something he was in, like Seven, you can't do it, and that's your right to do that.
Yeah,
I think the problem with the fact that it had to come to this whole Me Too thing, where we knew predatory behavior in Hollywood with agents and everything, that was always like laughed at, the casting couch and everything else, that has happened forever. The fact that it gets to this point, it's allowed to fester and get to this point where everyone from there's a whole laundry list of people.
Yeah,
laundry list of people that have been on, pro-feminists on one side, and it doesn't matter. It's just everyone going back for decades. And so now it all comes out. Well, we knew about it. Now people are having the courage to speak up about it. Women and even men that have been put in situations. Richard Dreyfuss' son, this story's fucked up. Anyway, so where do you go from here? Obviously, people should be more apt to watch themselves behaviorally, but this also should be a message to people, though, that especially if you knew about it and didn't say anything. I'm not saying a victim is hard to speak out, but if you were standing by and knowing, like, as if you were an assistant to an actor or something like that, because you heard about like Harvey Weinstein's assistants helping him do this shit,
right?
Female assistants helping him do this to other women. You got to speak up at some point. Like, your conscience has to speak to you at some fucking point. It has to be better than job security at some point.
It has to be.
It has to be, right?
Yes.
Shouldn't it? You have to live with yourself at some point? I hope.
And the fact is, if you're in this industry, you've probably made a bunch of money. So at some point, you have to look at your bank account and be like, fine.
But is it the fear of being blackballed versus doing the right thing? I think that's what has happened to a lot of these people.
I just don't.
It has to be. Like, you don't want to speak up about it because you'll never work in Hollywood again. That's probably what happened with it. Tons of people had to know about this shit.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin Spacey, I think in his what is it, in the British theater he was in, like, it sounded like everyone kind of knew about it. Mm-hmm. And the suggestion was just stay away from him or don't go near him, like, because he's Kevin Spacey. He's the ultimate, right? So at some point though, something has to give, and this is the big give.
Find a different ultimate.
So I'm annoyed for a lot of different reasons. Yeah, and selfishly, yeah, you have a great series that isn't going to be wrapped up, or at least they write him out. But I think he's also producer and so in co-creator, so he probably would. This is weird. I wonder, does he ever work again? Do these people ever work again? I don't know.
I don't think he does.
You don't think he works ever again? Because this is beyond even just, a little. Not to put it mildly, this is beyond just like, oh, he's sexually harassing.
A 14-year-old kid.
Yeah. Well, this Richard. Do you see this Richard Dreyfuss son?
Yeah,
thing?
and I'm not looking into it anymore until I'm done with the podcast.
It's not good. But this also tells to you, Kevin Spacey's great at playing evil guys and sociopaths, like on House of Cards.
No fucking wonder why.
And I hate to say it, on House of Cards, if you've watched it, he's a sexual predator as well on House of Cards.
Okay.
Not often, but
okay.
It's
all right.
I got you.
Okay.
All
From Angry Gamer 1987. What are Pat and Ian's thoughts on Stranger Things Season 2? Does the show live up to the hype? I've never watched any of it yet.
I'm really surprised.
Not one or two.
I thought you like creepy horror stuff.
I do, and I do want to watch it at some point.
It does live up to the hype in terms of it's intriguingly entertaining. It's totally unique and original. Season 2 is, to me, I enjoyed it more than Season 1. Just because you can tell for Season 2, they were more comfortable. They had more money to spend. Not that Season 1 was on a shoestring budget, but the scope of the world, you can see, has opened up a little bit in terms of the effects and what they're trying the story to tell. While Season 1 was like, well, you can tell there's a budget without going too much into it.
Well, and probably an uncertainty as well.
Sure.
I think any Season 1 has that uncertainty where they never know if they're going to come back.
I don't think anyone knew that Stranger Things Season 1 was going to be a huge monster hit the way it was.
Right. And then in a Season 2, there's always that comfort of, okay, we were at least good enough to come back, so, we can do a little bit more of what we wanted. And
the characters, not that they're better developed in Season 2, well, a couple definitely are. 2 of the 4, the boys' characters are definitely better developed. They have 2. I don't know their fucking names. I just watched it a couple weeks ago. But 2 are given a lot more to do, and they're given more dialogue. They're giving some growth. So that's always the good thing about a sequel, is that you're starting off with characters you can then go in different directions, which that happens with certain characters. The relationship between Seven and the sheriff is fantastic. Everyone's they love like the sort of developing father-daughter relationship there, and it's very well done. And the show still seems like it could be in the 80s. Like you don't, when you make a period piece, like this is a period piece. The first season takes place in 83, the second season 84. You can sometimes tell when they're going a little bit too over the top with, we're trying to be 80s, like that stupid sitcom that was on fucking ABC. Meet the Goldbergs, whatever. It was like, I got the power glove on in this episode. Next episode, I'll listen to Thriller. Where it's like, it's beating you over the head. Like when they try to do that 80s show.
Yeah.
Where it was like, not just like that 70s show just took place in the 70s. That 80s show was like, everything's about the 80s. And it's like, no asshole. It's the background. It's just the time period the place is in. Mm-hmm. You don't have to beat everyone over the head with the 80s. It's like, yeah, spoilers, in season 1, the kid gets an Atari 2600. But it's like, okay, that makes sense as a present. Like, but it's not beating you over the head with it. Like,
Sure.
it just happens to happen. You know what I mean? Like, they're using the walkie-talkies that kids had in the 80s because that's what kids do.
Right.
They're riding the bikes they do. In the first episode of season 2, they're in an arcade. That would have happened in 84. You know, so, like, it's natural. It makes sense. It's not beating you over the face with the fact that it's the 80s. But it's still well done. You know, it still looks like, you know. And the other thing they screw up with about stuff, and I talked about with Frank, so they're driving even cars, shitty cars from the 70s and 84. They don't make the mistake that for a show that takes place in the early 80s, that they're all cars from the early 80s. Like, that, yeah, the one woman has, I think, like a Gremlin. So she would have had a crappy old car
Right.
in the mid 80s. Like, so there's a little bit of care here to this that I like.
Sure.
You know, so that's all. I just rambled about this. Like, what else is going on? Nothing? So watch Stranger Things. It's proud sponsors of the CU. No, they're not a sponsor. By the way, going back to social media and Twitch, a big thing that happened on Twitter, not Twitch, I said Twitter, was that I guess a bunch of fucking creepy ass adults were hanging around the main kid's character with the curly hair. His name's Finn, the actor. They posted that they were pissed that he didn't come over and sign autographs or something. They were at the hotel, like, waiting for him to, during the day. Then he comes back. He has security around him. He said, "Hey," walking back, because then they got pissed at him and called him rude walking back in the hotel because he didn't come over and, like, talk to them and take pictures. When the kid was probably on a fucking 12-hour press tour day, was probably exhausted at night, and it was just. I'm glad everyone went off. I saw Peanut Butter Gamer retweet and say, like, how dare you, like what the fuck, the kid.
He's a fucking kid.
It's a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you want the kid to do?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, leave him alone. Like, outside his hotel. You know, it's just like, if you see that, it'll be like, the reaction will restore your faith in humanity, because they went after these older guys who were acting like fucking babies about it.
Good.
So, anyway. Is that it for the CU podcast? I've been speaking to myself the last 10 minutes.
That's it.
So, check out...
Oh,
That's it.
I have one in my mouth.
So the NES Marathon is on November 11th and 12th. Go to nesmarathon.com. We'll have some NES Marathon moments up this week. I have to edit them. And then we have a Patreon, Ian.
We do. It's at patreon.com/CU podcast.
And then you can watch the full video version. You can get the hotline, the Q&A hotline number to call in. We do that at this point. Every 2 out of 3 shows we do a question and answer. We'll do it probably next time. And then I'll be at Retro Game Con in Syracuse on November 18th and 19th. Check out the videogameyears.com, which will go to Amazon Prime to watch it. And then ultimatenes.com to get a certain NES guidebook. So for Ian Ferguson, who hasn't spoken in 25 minutes,
I talked about Kevin Spacey.
I'm Pat Contry.
Hey.
And then we'll see you after I'm back from Syracuse.
Alrighty.
In Ian's den. That'll be interesting.
The den.
With Spike biting out my toes while we record.
Ah, Spike.